Hi all, welcome back. So today I am going to discuss one of the important aspects of Linux, that is related to the file system. And this file system is important for any user, whether some administrator, IT administrator using this Linux system, or some developer, kernel developer, anyone. It is very, very important. Okay, so please pay attention to this till the last. You know, so last time we discussed about some commands, and especially the type command and export command to change this path environment variable. So let me show you one thing here. Let's say if I create this particular one terminal window, a new terminal window. So this is the new terminal window. So in that you can see, if I use simple ls command, fine, working. And if I check my current path value, so you can use this current path value, this one. So ls is working, and if I again use type command ls, uh, ls is alias to this, and this is not a bit clear. So let me try one more command, reach ls. That is more clear now. So either of these commands you can use. Let me just remove this path, because just I wanted to prove you that this is the external command, so how it will behave. So export, let's say path equal to let me give this simply user. Oh, this is the wrong syntax, so we have to give path. Okay, so anyway, our purpose is solved. So if I use now ls, we'll say command is not available because we don't have correct path. Okay, so which ls? So it is saying that available at following places but not here. So it is not able to find that. Okay. So another thing we discussed last time, about the hash table and all that. So this job of this one is over. Let me exit it. And second thing, today I would like to discuss about that something related to our editors. You need something on a command line to edit a file on anyway GUI based system. You have this Word document. So here different editors are there: vi editor and improved vi editor named as vim, and nano, good one. So these editors you can use for editing any file. But for any root specific file, you have different set of editors: vipw, VIPW for this etc password file, which contains the information related to user accounts, and VIZR is related to etc group, that is group related. We will discuss user group below. And VI sudo for adding the sudo information. So and sudo edit for any other root specific, because root specific files are system configuration files, and very much mm, uh, sensitive kind of information is there. For example, if you use normal editor to edit, you can use, but it is not recommended to edit sudo file. And something goes wrong, and another user is suppose using that file, so that file is not locked and get corrupted, so you may lose your existing sudo permission. And if your system, you are working on a remote server, then without accessing that server physically, it will be difficult to fix the issue. Sometime you may corrupt your login information if you don't use VIPW or group information. So these are recommended for that. Okay. And password command can be used for changing the password, and one can basically especially IT admin or those guys may require sometimes shadow is related. There may be feature to give some sort of password specific thing, so that password uh, encrypted file is in this shadow file for this user, and similarly for G shadow file. So those can be used by VIPW-S for user shadow, and similarly VIGR-S for that group one. So this is one thing. And so could you try to find location of utilities? Above I have mentioned many things like VIPW and all that. Based on the type command, could you try yourself that type or which command, that if you can find some information about these utilities, okay, that you can take separate experiment. And so this providing sudo permission is one of the important aspect, but if sudo is given to you, so you have that additional responsibility to use it carefully. Okay, so how to set this super user permission? Let's see how to do that. As I told you that the person should have the sudo permission. Here I have created two users on the system. One is Tony, one is this Sanjay. So Tony, suppose if I try this sudo, let's say any command, yeah, sudo itself in Tony. So what it will say, let me try that particular password. Tony is not part in the sudo files. So this incident will be reported in the log file. Now you come to the same command. Let's try here sudo in case of user Sanjay. So sudo vi sudo command I am typing. So enter, and password of user Sanjay here, and this opens this particular file. So here you will see in that user section, so I have provided like everywhere all means root kind of privileges to this. Similarly another user's res is there. So these are different parameters. For example, in one case this is the username, basically who is provided that sudo privileges, host, if host specific name, or those kind of things are there, can be used in this. And if any specific commands has to be provided, so this particular syntax provide the flexibility that you can provide sudo permission to a user or group for some specific commands, and also you can specify that user can do sudo in certain specific host machines. That kind of flexibility is also there. Okay, so for our simple purpose, if you use this add here in this file, suppose if I add Tony here, same line here, let me try that. Tony and all, just copy. I am giving this whatever that commands, groups, he has to, so similar privileges I am giving. Okay, and generally if a particular application require sudo permission, so normally that that application also sometimes suggest what to do. Okay, let me save it. Okay, okay, then, and one thing, this vi sudo, what it does basically, it will it also check the syntax of that particular whatever we are doing. So if something is wrong, then it will give warning. So in that particular case, you might have noticed that it has copied in the temp file right now. So this way you can use it. So that anyway I will check later that for the Tony what is done, and other things I would like to discuss before going further, like users and groups. So users and groups, when you install this Linux system, so by default you get this, you have that root privileges. So after installation, you can create your first user. Okay, and that user from the command line, generally, if you are going to add additional user from the command line, you can use these command, add user, and you can create, suppose if you have created any user, so you can use add user. So again, there is a requirement of group also. Why group is requirement? Because you can think, you may think different departments like finance, HR, sales based groups. So all the files from one department will not be accessible by other, and sometimes not needed and sometimes not required too. And you may also think is somewhat similar to WhatsApp group, and particular WhatsApp group is made for some sort of discussion, and it has some limited members, and that discussion is relate that confined to that particular members. So there will be some admin, WhatsApp group admin. So here that admin is our root or similar privileges based user. So that can create group, and that can add user to particular group, add user, username and group name, and then it can provide a particular file. It can provide that particular file assigned to this. For example, let me go to this Sanjay here. Let me see ls. Right now there is no file. I will use vi editor because we discussed that. When you open vi, so first let me come out of this. There is no file. So let me tell you vi my file. Fine, or you can say simply test1. Okay, now if you open the test1 is not there, so it will open the test1. You have to enter I first time for insert, then you can put any data, let's say a b c d, just simple data, and just save this file. That's it. So you can see that test1 simple file a b c d. Now this file, if I use ls minus l. So it is showing Sanjay, Sanjay. It means this is the first one is the owner, this is the group. And let me see what groups Sanjay basically has, and let me see any other groups. Whatever the group I have right now, groups, and let's say Sanjay. I have to check that using the pattern matching Sanjay, and suppose I will check this group in this particular path, you will see that my group 2 is having Tony, Sanjay. So let me assign this to my group 2. Okay, so that Tony can also change this file. Okay, so how I can do that? Ch on colon, because first is for user, second is for group. So if you don't use simply that, it means you are basically giving ownership of file to particular user. So in this case I want just my group 2, actually that I created earlier, and file name I have to give, that is the test1. What it does? Done. Let's say again this my group 2. Done. Okay, so this way similarly you can change mode. What is that ch mode? If you see these three, so this is read write x, read write x, read write x, means read write execute for user, this one first in the file, read write, second one is read write execute for group, and third one is read only for any other any other apart from this any other user, guest user maybe. So we have that flexibility to change, to make it accessible to all also. I can, for example, I can mode, we can use, let's say 7, it means 1 1 1, all three for all. Let's say test1, check, done, read write x, read write x. Okay, and you might have noticed this color is because now we are saying this is executable also, although it is just a test file, so that's why it is showing that. Again the data is still cat test1 file, we can see that it's still the same data. Fine. So can you add or modify user group within without add user command? So this should be basically a question to a person who is doing IT admin or server admin kind of thing. So maybe interview question. So as I suggested, you can use add user. So what add user will do? Add user will do many things actually. It will create home directory, it will create that user related information, everything. But if the question is that can you use that without this command? So yes, we can, but in that case what we need to do? VIPW, we have to use VIPW to create the user information. It will change the etc password, that file you can change. So like I'll show you, let's say sudo, or I can directly use this sudo. I have sudo permission already, so let me try VIPW. VIPW, because sudo is not used. Okay, here you can see in the last you can add any user. Okay, so you can provide the home directory, whatever information like that, and user is having what kind of bash information, those kind of stuff. So you can provide that. Right now I don't have agenda to go to that particular detail, but you should be able to do that. Okay, And password you can change using anyway password command. Mhm. So similarly, you can use VIZR to create that group related information or those kind of things. But you can do this. That okay, okay. So let me see whether I can take file metadata also. Mhm. Okay, let's do that also. Mm, Give me few moment for this and okay. Uh, let's look into this. Uh, what is this file metadata? Metadata means data of the data. So what is the data of the data? Let's look into this concept of inode. So if we go to that Unix kind of architecture, so you will see that this file structure, whether ext2 ext3, so that file is represented as inode, and inode will have direct few direct objects, some one direct or indirect, sorry, indirect. These are data blocks basically. So one indirect, I will say this one two indirect, again data block. Similarly there can be three indirect. Okay, so why this is? Because so that dynamic memory allocation can be done. So for efficient memory management this is done. So this is all this, and apart from that some additional information, uh, related to the file will be there. And let me go to this, how to find out that what information. So in our case, if this particular file, I will show you. So I use I is for inode. So each file will get one specific unique node, and all this information, no, whatever the permission and all those kind of things will be there. So we will see this. Uh, so when we say direct, it means that uh, node will have direct data, and but there is another indirect also, indirect method. What can be the indirect? Indirect is something like shortcut is Windows. So how to create this kind of shortcut here? Let me show you that. Let's say I am going to this particular user, and here I will create ln uh, soft dash soft link in user Tony. I am going there, and I will provide complete source path, that is important, and I have this Linux day 1 directory, and in that we have test1 file. Fine. Then I have to provide this another directory, home and Tony. Then let's say in this case that test1, I will say sim, just name. Okay. So then enter. Let's see how it works. il ls, it should create Tony is there. Oh, PWD day 1. Why it is not something we missed here. Let me check. It is not allowing that file or home Tony test. If I create from this one the same file, source, and this, it is not refreshing. Let me check. ls home Tony. Within that, the mistake was that what the link was supposed to be created. I will show you. What is the mistake? Could you identify? Yes, that mistake is this one. In this, if you copy paste this command here, you will find that we forgot to mention the day 1 here. Fine. Again, let me see now. ls. Now go inside the day 1. ls. Now it is there. Let's see how it looks like. So now you see the format here. This file is basically soft linked, and this side the inode number is this, and file is test1, and here you can say Tony. It is not saying any this group, that group. Okay, if I type that, same data. So this is indirect link basically. So if I remove this file test1, so there is no meaning of this. This is similar to Windows shortcut. Let's see if another way, direct object. I will create this time hard link, not the soft link. Okay, so for that I need to just use this. Create file exists, because I have to change the name. Let me say H, just for, because same file was already there. Let's see now how this looks like. One thing you note here, this inode is exactly, this test hard link load. Okay, exactly the same here. Fine. And this is not showing, this is showing L for link, first one. This is not showing link, this is showing dash. So means this is a normal file. Even if I delete that, it will have that direct link to the object. So no indirect link in this case. Okay, so what happens when you use the move command? It first try to use this hard link. If due to some reason, some different partition file system, it is not able to do that, then it will copy. So what happens if I copy, by the way, and copy is basically slower. So because in hard link you have to just link to the same node, just rename, means two names of the same node. And in case of soft link, node is changed because indirectly it is connected. One node is connected to another, then it is connected to the object. Okay, let's say copy. If we use this copy command, and in copy command basically we don't have to sometime provide full path, but let's just follow this and copy test1 to, let's say, test1, my copy. Okay, I'm not moving, so you will see that. So my copy is basically a file, normal file. Let's see that our I am habitual of doing this, so instead of that, let's IL I need to do, so that I can see node also. So you will notice here my copy is creating a different inode because it has created different inode, and to different, it is copying to the different inode, correct? So, and move will not do that. I'm pretty sure that we will try also. And this thing, and hard is the same thing. Let's try move. Okay, so I can simply name here, so let's say my move command, because of move, so that I can remember. Actually, that is the only purpose, otherwise there is no purpose of this particular name. So move cannot move, because permission denied, it cannot move that file here. K for permission. I'm not sure whether I got it yet or not. Got, because we actually updated that. Okay, let me then try sudo. We updated sudo file now for Tony. So sudo command. Let's see now. So what happened? Cool. Now this is my move, and it is having same link, which was that one, test hard, and working as a different file. Hard link had no effect of moving that particular file, but soft link is now saying, oh, this is not available, that's why it is green, no, red, sorry. So that's why there is no meaning of soft link now. If you, let's say, try to type this test1 sim1, okay, so you will see no such file. So you may try different permutation combinations and play with this soft link and all those hard link, and and also here actually I wanted to show you something here. You see this first one is definitely inode number, then privilege, then directory, D for directory, L for this link, and then dash for file, and then what is this next one is number of links. For example, in this case you can see 3 is mentioned for particular file left side. In that my file 2, all are basically links. You can see all 94 same inode. So basically I created links, and so depending on how many links, 3 links. So it is like that. Then this is user or group, and then size. You might have noticed that exact timing and all that. For example, in this case, if you see size is 5, because we used only let's say now this is not there, but hard anyway we can do that test one hard, you can type that. So ABCD 4 plus maybe end of line kind of third character of fifth one, so that's why size is 5. So that's it. So we will be some more interesting stuff in that next session, and if you like it, please subscribe it, and keep experimenting with different these commands whatever I have shared. Okay, bye, have a great